Fall has arrived, and what does that mean? It's time to can pie filling. Yes, pie filling. So today what we're gonna start with is a raspberry pie filling, which is a mixture of raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries. And this is what it's going to look like when it is done. And it is gonna be perfect for a raspberry pie come Thanksgiving and Christmas. Now, having pie filling on the shelf is great for coffee cakes, ice creams, cupcakes, cobblers, anything along those lines. It's great for making. I like to make the little berry pies like you used to, like you get at the stores, or you get at McDonald's. You get the apple pies. I like to make those too. It's great for the kids. They love them. So what we're gonna do is we're using a recipe. It's out of the Amish Canning Cookbook. And if you look at page 137, they have blackberry pie filling. Now, I'm gonna use this for the raspberry pie. On a lot of these, you can adjust your different ingredients as far as sugar or spices. I'm not gonna put any spices, but you can use fruit juice or you can use water in these. But you can't omit the lemon juice. The lemon juice is what makes it safe for water bath canning because it increases your acidity level. So you must add the lemon juice. So, and also, in order to make it thick, we're using clear gel. Now, clear gel is a type of cornstarch and it doesn't separate while canning. You can't use flour or anything like that because it'll be horrible. It'll separate and it won't work. So for canning, you want to get yourself some clear gel. So the clear gel I'm using today is from Berry Farms. I got this several years ago. I got a whole case of it, but it doesn't really matter. As long as it's clear gel, it doesn't matter where you get it from. Make sure you get yourself a good brand, good organic brand, so you're not getting chemicals and stuff in it. So this is Berry Farms. It's out of Ohio. So this is what I like to use. All right, are you ready to get started? We're gonna go ahead and get started over here. One thing about it, I used a 1-inch headspace on this. You want to use a nice healthy 1-inch headspace because it will leak. It really expands in the water bathing process. So you want to go, I don't know, one and a quarter, 1.5, so that it won't boil over. You do not want a fail. I've never had any issues with this failing at a 1-inch headspace, but I would definitely use a healthy, little bit over a 1-inch headspace. So just note that in your recipe book so that you can make sure you do that whenever you do this recipe. All right, let's get started. So to get started, I put all my quart jars into my canner and they've been sterilized for 10 minutes. And then I have my lids. They're getting warm. I always warm my lids. I have a lot more success with warming my lids. So in here I have 6 quarts of berries. That'd be 2 quarts of blackberries, 2 quarts of raspberries, and 2 quarts of blueberries. You want to make sure you wash and stem your berries very well. When you're at the store, you want to get 4 pints of blackberries and raspberries because of course 2 pints equals 1 quart. So 4 pints would equal 2 quarts. For blueberries, you want 4 pounds, which is 64 ounces. There's 32 ounces in 1 quart, so if it comes in quarts, you're going to need 2 quarts, but total you're going to need 4 pounds. You will also need 7 cups of sugar and 1 3/4 cups of clear gel. I use this clear gel from Berry Farms. And you'll also need a 1/2 cup of lemon juice. It has to be bottled lemon juice. You cannot use fresh. It has to be bottled. I'm going to mix my cornstarch in with my sugar. Once I get that all up blended, I will add that to 9 1/3 cups of cold water. And I always use my water purifier. You don't really want to use like well water because it has minerals and stuff in it. So you want filtered water that doesn't have any of the minerals in it. It's best for when you're canning. So I'm just going to take this and mix this all up so it doesn't end up clumpy when I throw it in with the water. But Take this and throw it in with the water. Okay, I got my sugar and clear gel added to my water. You can also use bottled juice if you want to have more flavor. It's also in the regular recipe. The recipe is in the Amish cookbook, but it's for blackberries. They have the berries separated. So I'm doing a combination berry because that's what we like in our pie filling every Christmas. So you're going to bring this up. Let's see, you're going to have it thicken until it just starts to bubble, and then you're going to add the lemon juice and boil for 1 minute, stirring constantly. And then you're going to add your berries. Well, it's been about 10-15 minutes, and you can see now it's really starting to thicken up. And this goes pretty quick, so when it starts turning, you want to make sure you're stirring this constantly. You're supposed to stir constantly the whole time. And I can see why, because it gels up very, very quickly. But it's supposed to come up to a boil here pretty soon, and then we'll put the berries in and start jarring it up. I'm excited. I can't wait. This will be so nice to have this on the shelf. Alright, so it's just starting to throw little bubbles. So I'm going to go ahead and put the lemon juice in it. And now we're supposed to let it boil for 1 minute. You want to make sure you stir it constantly while it's boiling. Wow, this is really thick. This will be really nice pie filling. This pie filling is not only going to be good for pie filling, it'll be good for donuts, cobblers, cake filling. You put this in the middle of a cake between the 2 layers. Guess I better set my timer here. There we go. But the 3-berry is definitely one of our favorite pies. So I wanted to get this done while the berries were in season, because Christmas rolls around, the berries are just horrible. So I can get this on the shelf while the berries are still in season. And this is really hot. I need a longer spoon. Let this go for a couple more seconds, and then we will turn it off and throw in the berries just to kind of heat them through, and then start panning it up. I'm excited. Wow. Here we go. Right. Pull this out for a second. Berries are really, really delicate, so you don't really want to ruin them. There we go. All right. I'm just going to mix these in and make sure I don't have any leaves or anything. I washed them up really good. For some reason, berries are pretty tricky. I always seem to manage to find something somewhere. Hot. There we go. That is good. I think next time I do this, I will use berry juice. Might give a little more flavor. It says it gives it more flavor, so we'll just go ahead and do that next time. Also going to make some apple pie filling today, so get this in the jars and then we'll start on the apple pie filling. There we go. That looks amazing. I'm really happy with that. We're going to have some really good pies this Christmas and Thanksgiving. All right, let's get it all jarred up. Okay, so I got my jars all ready. We have to leave a 1/2 inch head, or a 1 inch headspace on these. And so, as you can see, the berries, you don't really do a lot with the berries. You just kind of heat them through. You don't really want to cause much damage to them. throw this in here. And I would definitely leave at least a 1-inch headspace, if not more, because I mean, it might expand even more, so you don't want to risk having it overflow. All right. My handy dandy chopstick I always use. I could use a little more in there. Teens a bit more. There we go. And remember, right here where this rim is on the bottom, that is your 1-inch headspace. You do not want to go above that. Make sure there's no bubbles in the bottom. I have those plastic debubblers, but I love this chopstick because it's so much easier just to squeeze right in there and get all the bubbles out. All right, there we go. Looks good. Okay, now you're gonna make sure you wipe your rim really good, and you can check it, make sure there's no nicks or anything in there that would cause it to not seal. And put your lid on it and your ring, and take a look at that. Doesn't that look amazing? That is going to be some great pie. Get the jar lifter so I can put this in the canner. Go ahead and do another one for you. And want to make sure you stir up your product so it doesn't separate while you're working. There we go. Oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to love this. I also like to make little tiny fruit pies for the kids, you know, like your little Hostess fruit pies that you buy in the store. Those are really good. And these work great for that. So, stick that right there for a second. You always want to make sure you debubble. Get all those bubbles out of there. You wipe your rim nice and clean so you get a nice good seal. Put your warm lid on and your ring, and off in the canner it goes. And that's it. That easy. Alright, I'll get the rest of these jarred up and I'll bring you back. I got the 7-quart jars all ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and fire this up and get it to boiling. Once it comes up to a full rolling boil, I'm going to process this for 35 minutes at my altitude, which is just over 2,000 feet. So if your altitude is 0 to 1,000 feet, it'd be 30 minutes. 1,000 to 3,000 feet, it'd be 35 minutes. Over 3,000 feet, it'd be 40 minutes. So I'm going to let this go for 35 minutes, and then I'll let it sit in a canner after it's done for 5 minutes before I pull them out. So I'll bring you back as soon as it's done. Well, the jars are all done processing. They've already all sealed. You can see they're beautiful. They're going to make some great pies. I also have 4 pints in there, so I got 7 quarts and 4 pints out of the recipe. So there it is. You can see it looks amazing, absolutely incredible. I'll let it sit for 24 hours before we make sure that it's definitely sealed. If anything isn't sealed, you just stick it in the fridge and then you would use it normally within, you know, a day or 2. But right now, these are all ready to go. I'm going to let them finish cooling for 24 hours and then stick them on the shelf. So, thank you for coming with me and helping me can up these beautiful jars of raspberry pie filling. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share if you'd like to see more videos. Have a great day. Bye.